So recently I done a video on the Eubank Jr. and Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn fight being confirmed, finalised. I also put my prediction in that video, which was dependent, well, my prediction is dependent on the weight issues. Since I made that video, I've read and I've watched a lot of information on the fight, basically, and I don't know, how would you word it? Stipulations, basically, that they need to abide by for the fight to go ahead. One of which is on the weigh-in day. If I'm reading this and if I've got my information correct, the stipulation is that Eubank Jr. needs to weigh in at 160 on the day, the weigh-in, I mean, and he can't rehydrate. Anyone that doesn't know means that he can't, after that weigh-in, basically, the next again night is the fight. It means he can't just go and eat a steak, or eat a McDonald's, or whatever. Like, he cannot be heavier, basically. I've held back in doing this video because I've not fully got it confirmed that that's true. It's actually quite hard to find that, to be honest, unless I'm looking in all the wrong places. But that is certainly that's the rumour. And I have to say, Eubank Jr., as much as he has fought at 160, his best performances have been at 168. Here's my point, right? I'll just cut out all the bullshit. Here's my point. If he has been told, basically, that... What's that noise? If he's been told, and it's part of the contract, that he needs to be 160 and can't rehydrate, meaning he can't get any heavier than that, then that's a totally different ballgame. Because Conor Benn is coming up from 147. That's his natural fighting weight. He's coming up from that weight to 160. Obviously, there's disadvantages to that too, but there's also advantages. At the end of the day, when everything's said and done, for me, it's more of an advantage going up in weight rather than it is losing weight. And again, just for me, it's my opinion, I believe Team Benn, and by that I don't just mean Conor Benn, I mean his dad, I mean his manager, trainer, everyone that's on his side, I think they're banking on the fact that Eubank Jr. is stubborn and he believes that he could beat Benn at any weight. But let me tell you something, if you're cutting down to a weight that you're not comfortable with, forget middleweight, forget 160 and everything that I just said about actual numbers. If you are cutting down to a weight that you're not, comfortable with, and you're dehydrated and you're I don't know, basically starving yourself to get to the weight, your punch resistance, your strength, everything is going to be so depleted that it's actually dangerous. I would be embarrassed if I was in Team Benn and I was trying to make this fight happen at that weight. It's not right, that. It's not right. And listen, it's just my opinion that Team Benn, I don't think they would want this fight with Eubank Jr. if it was at 168. And I'm not judging, because they're different weight classes. It's unacceptable to think that Benn would go up, what would that be, 3 weight classes? That's a bit silly. So I guess you do need to meet in the middle sometimes, but to expect Eubank Jr. to go down to 160 and not rehydrate, I think that tells you a lot. I think that tells you that Benn thinks that's his only way of beating him. And obviously, clearly, you're going to get Team Benn, meaning his promoter, his manager, trainer, his dad, everyone on his side. You're going to get them saying, well, Eubank Jr. competed at 160. He's perfectly fine at that weight. Listen, that was many years ago. Naturally, forget boxing, forget any combat sport, just in life generally, as you get older, Not in all cases, but generally, you put on weight, you get bigger, you eat more. That's just what happens. You know, it's... For me, it's just a ridiculous argument. But they will say that. They will say, oh, but this is the weight that he chose and the weight that he's competed at before. Well, what I'll say to that is, I'm sure it was a weight he accepted. I don't think it's a weight he would ideally choose. And yes, he's competed at that weight before, but that's not his natural weight now. Plus he's 36. He's the same age as me. Things get harder when you get older to lose weight, to put on weight. It's a big talking point for me. It's a major part of who wins this fight for me. If Eubank Jr. is at a weight he's comfortable with, he will win the fight. To me, very one-sidedly, but let's see what happens. It's not till April, this 26th, I believe, so there's a lot that's going to happen from now till then. The weight being one of them and the stipulations, so let's just see what happens. But as it stands now, that for me is a major issue and it should be addressed by Team Eubank Jr.